Jeff the Killer is one of the most popular creepypastas on the internet, but it's also home to one of the biggest internet mysteries as well. Where did this picture come from? So many people have gathered around to find this iconic piece of lost media, scouring through the internet to find hints and pieces for the unedited image. As a fan of creepypastas and internet horror, I've gathered all these findings that these fine internet folk have found, and in this video, I'm taking on a wild journey as we try to figure out, where did Jeff the Killer's picture come from?
My name is Jeff.
Now, Jeff the Killer is one of the most iconic creepypastas ever, even though the story itself is hot trash. Now that I've read it recently as an adult with a full functioning brain, I believe what made this creepypasta become one of the greatest, one of the all-times of all time is this picture. This goddamn face has been haunting me as a kid for years now. Ever since I've seen this picture, I've been kept up at night staring at the corner of my window to see if Jeff would break in and tell me to go to sleep. So this Jeff character was created by DeviantArt user Seswar, who has been posting on Newgrounds spreading the word on Jeff. Although the popular creepypasta wasn't written by Seswar himself, the original story with Jeff is more of like a Bloody Mary type ritual, where the story is basically instructions on how to summon Jeff. Apparently in this version, Jeff gets his iconic look when he accidentally spilled a bucket of acid on his face while trying to clean his bathtub. Now the stories in the creepypasta itself aren't that interesting, but rather the image that accompanies it. The deal with this image is that no one has any clue where it came from. It's obvious that it's a Photoshop of something, and there are a couple of stories people made up to try to explain where the original unedited image could have came from. Now, the most infamous story would be the Katie Robinson story. Allegedly, the original image of Jeff was a Photoshop picture of a girl who reportedly unalived themselves back in 2008 due to 4chaners bullying her for being fat. However, there are a lot of problems with the story. There really isn't any evidence that Katie Robinson existed. Every time you look up Katie Robinson, it's always only related to the Jeff image. There's also a video from Scare Theater where he interviewed Seswar, and they claimed that the Katie Robinson story was completely bogus. And it wasn't until 2018, after an extensive research effort done from 4chan's paranormal board, this rumor was debunked. Turns out Katie Robinson isn't real, and the woman in this picture is actually alive. YouTuber Gage did an interview with Heather White, the real Katie Robinson, the lady that's in the picture, and apparently Katie's photo was taken from White's MySpace and was also used to spread other miscellaneous tales unrelated to Jeff. Now, another story on where this image came from was from Seswar himself, the creator of Jeff the Killer. Apparently, in the interview with Scare Theater, he claimed that they created this photo themselves. Apparently, it's just a photo of themselves wearing a latex mask they wore. And they even talked about how valuable that mask would be if he had kept it due to the popularity of Jeff.
So that's that, huh?
On the surface, Seswar's story makes sense. He created Jeff, so he probably made the image himself, right? Well, it turns out this picture has existed way before Seswar created Jeff. There's a video on YouTube called the NNN broadcast. It doesn't stand for No Nut November, but it's actually based off a Japanese urban legend about a weird TV channel broadcasting strange shit in the wee hours of the morning. So in this video, there are some spooky images to make some jump scares and stuff, and one of these spooky jump scares turns out to be the now iconic Jeff image. Now, this video came out back in 2007, one whole year before Jeff the Killer was created, meaning that the OG Jeff image is floating around the internet somewhere, possibly from a Japanese source. And this also debunks Seswar's story where they claim to have created the mask and wore it for a picture and everything. Not sure why he would even lie about that, but
whatever.
Hello guys and gals, me Mudahar.
Ever since the discovery of Jeff's images on the NNN broadcast, this lit a fire up the internet's ass to find the true origins of Jeff's image, specifically the unedited original version. And the hunt also gained huge momentum thanks to the popularity of lost media on YouTube. There are also dedicated YouTube videos discussing Jeff's picture from YouTube channels such as Blame It on Jorge and Some Ordinary Gamers. Speaking of Some Ordinary Gamers, they actually put out a $10,000 bounty on whoever can find the unedited image. And there's also a subreddit r/original JTK image who have been looking looking for the unedited picture for years now. Now, this subreddit is responsible for creating this very helpful document showcasing their findings, which is what I'm basing my video on. According to the subreddit, one of the earliest known instances of Jeff's image were found on the Japanese image board pia.cc, dating back to September and November 2005. This repost was created by a user named Omega Vault, so it's heavily implied that Omega Vault created this version of Jeff. However, it's not proven yet because the investigative team have been trying to get a hold of Omega Vault. Trying to get a hold of Omega Vault is probably as hard as trying to find the goddamn picture itself. Now, I don't know if you caught this, but I mentioned that this is one version of the Jeff image. It turns out, back in 2022, this image was found on the Japanese image sharing site FileMan, and it was first uploaded earlier in 2005. Now, the file name is called prettyface.jpg. The eyes are completely different, and the mouth seems to be less edited. It doesn't have the smile smeared onto it. Now, these Jeff images have been re-uploaded all over the Japanese internet, which makes it really difficult to find the true origins of the unedited picture, because so many people have re-uploaded, reposted it, trying to get spooks and scares and all that. As with any mystery in life or on the internet, there are plenty of people making up shit just to convince people into thinking they found the real thing. And of course, during the investigation of Jeff the Killer, there are plenty of people tricking people into thinking they found the unedited image. So conveniently, the subreddit's document has a list of fake mock-ups that they found, and we're gonna go over these fake mock-ups to see how convincing they look. I wonder if you can tell this is unscripted. So this is actually one of the first mock-ups I've seen on the subreddit. Apparently, someone on Discord admitted to basically making this. I feel like this picture right here, the toddler, is the most convincing one. Although I will say the image is a little too high res. And here's another picture with an Asian lady on it. Hey, this is kind of like foreshadowing to what's next in the video, so I'm not gonna say too much about this. Here's another Photoshop mock-up. First of all, this is kind of
Freaky.
like, this kind of just looks like another edit of Jeff the Killer, not really like an unedited version. Someone tried to use a face similar to Katie Robinson's and try to Photoshop it onto the pretty face image. Here's green-eyed Jeff. Looks like if he had one too many fent hits. But there's a lot of people claiming that this is the unedited version of Jeff the Killer, quote-unquote. As some people pointed out, the image is a lot lower quality than the OG Jeff image. And, you know, it smears a bunch more stuff on it. It's just another edit. Looks like a goofy-ass dude. If I saw him in the closet, I'd probably laugh at his face. More AI slop. Oh, and here's this infamous anime girl AI where if you squint, it looks like the OG Jeff picture. Yeah, I guess apparently more AI slop. A lot of AI stuff here. What the hell is this? We got like Jeff the Reddit mod. Hey, if you've been enjoying the video, make sure to subscribe. There are a couple of testimonials that I want to show y'all where it's users claiming that they've seen the original unedited image before Jeff became popular on the western side of the internet. Now, the first testimony I want to go over is from Miyama, or Mr. Mulholland, and they're actually one of the first members from these Japanese image boards to provide a testimony to the investigative team from the subreddit. Allegedly, the unedited photo of Jeff is a cropped image from a video showcasing a middle-aged woman with a very white face. Now, unfortunately, Mr. Mulholland believes that the original video doesn't exist on the internet anymore. However, they claim that the video was actually a snippet from a show called Honto ni Atta Nori no Video. The team has checked out this show, but unfortunately couldn't find any clips that had the original Jeff image. Now, another testimony I want to showcase is from Mighty Omnivore, an image board user who actually posted one of the earliest known reposts of a Jeff the Killer edit on a Western forum. According to the DM shown off in this document, they claim to have seen the unedited photo of Jeff and that the images were apparently from someone who were just taking selfies of themselves. It's possible that these images could have been from a video. However, since it was so long ago, like what, now 20 years ago, and Mighty Omnivore unfortunately doesn't have any images saved on their old hard drive. They did claim that Pretty Face may not have been the original file name for the early Jeff edit. So it's possible that the image could be floating around somewhere on the internet internet under a different name. Now, the last testimony I want to showcase is from a user named C-Man. They claim to have seen the original image back on 2chan, and he described the original image as a fat Asian girl with long, black, oily, and shiny hair. The camera used was a terrible quality, and the background is a dirty room with clothes and a window covered by curtains. Although there was some new snippets of information revealed through these testimonies, unfortunately, none of these users had any insane revelations or even had any copies of the unedited image. Soon, the investigators did catch on to a lead that I believe might actually be
The
one that will reveal the unedited image once and for all. Mariko was a net idol and was well known on Japanese image boards because of her InfoSeek page ran by her boyfriend, Suzakumaru. Now, this page was apparently a diet diary documenting Mariko's weight loss journey through a series of pictures. Unfortunately, because of how popular this diet diary became, this led to a whole bunch of harassment heading towards Mariko's way due to her size, mostly from users from 2chan and other forums that Suzakumaru reposted the InfoSeek page on. Now, allegedly, Suzakumaru made this diet diary without Mariko's consent and had been secretly taking pictures and videos of her to kind of like ridicule her and make fun of her. And it's also theorized that he could have been making revenue off of this InfoSeek page. So it's obvious that Mariko and Suzakumaru do not have the most stable relationship, and it's possible that he was abusing Mariko for clicks and views and attention. Now, I'm sure y'all have made this connection already, but there is a huge number of similarities between Mariko and Jeff. They have the same hairline, same smile, same facial structure. Because of Mariko's notorious online reputation, it's possible someone made the pretty face image edit to make fun of her. So is it possible that Mariko was the original face for Jeffy-kun? The investigative team theorized that the image used for Jeff could have been taken after May 2004 from a possibly unarchived video of Mariko. All the similarities between Jeff and Mariko, I believe that she might be the source of Jeff's face. However, it's very difficult to find the original image because of what happened to Mariko's diet diary. So around May 2004, there was an online movement to erase Mariko's presence on the internet, mostly because people realized how absolutely disgusting and awful it is to make a diet diary in secret just to ridicule your girlfriend, you know? Apparently, some of the images and videos on this diet page were so disturbing that some people described it as a human rights violation that this page existed. So this led to a whole bunch of users reporting the page, telling people to, not go on the diet diary and just delete everything related to it. Unfortunately, most of the archived web pages available on the Wayback Machine were taken after this purge had happened. This is just a fucked up story of some poor woman being bullied and exploited online for the internet's entertainment. And unfortunately, this is a trend that still exists to this day, but that's a completely different rabbit hole. So I believe, and many people believe, that Mariko is the best lead in terms of finding Jeff's original unedited image. Because of the whole purge that happened, it did kind of hamper all the search efforts. It's very possible that the unedited picture of Jeff was a part of that purge, and now Jeff's unedited picture is probably lost media forever now. As of recording, the original image hasn't been found yet. The subreddit's been kind of slow lately and there hasn't been any new discoveries. The document does cover a couple more leads besides Mariko, including other Japanese internet personalities such as Haduri, Nachi, Sonoko, and plenty of others that may or may not look like Jeff. The bounty for Mutahar is still up for grabs if anyone wants to get a quick $10,000. Scare Theater tried to get the bounty but unfortunately couldn't find the image. When Mariko was first discovered, that lit a fire underneath people's asses to try to find the original unedited Jeff picture, but it seems like everyone is pretty burnt out on trying to find this picture, probably doing something a little bit more productive. Plenty of people have been trying to get into contact with Mariko to see if she so happens to have the image, but the caveat is we don't even know if she still, wants to be on the internet. We don't know if she's even still alive. We don't even know if she even wants to recount the times where it felt like the whole world was making fun of her and judging her. Hopefully, one day, we will see Jeff's unedited picture once and for all.